Hi, everyone. My name is Siobhan McSweeney, and I'm sorry I cannot be there in person tonight. I want to thank the organisers for reaching out to me and asking me to do something. There's no way on earth I could possibly have said no. And I'm incredibly grateful to them for organising tonight and for you all for buying a ticket and either being there live in person or watching on this live streaming link. I'm going to read an extract from the incomparable Bernadette Devlin's maiden speech to the House of Commons in 1969, if you can imagine, 1969. Not only because it's just a fucking amazing speech, one of the best speeches ever, but because, like all good things, it speaks down the ages to us and can speak to this awful time. I know I don't have a lot of time, that's why I'm rushing. The Right Honourable Member for Londonderry said that he stood in Bogside. He referred to what he saw as stark human misery. That is what I saw in Bogside. But it has not been there for just one night. It has been there for 50 years. And that same stark human misery is to be found in the Protestant fountain area, which the Right Honourable Gentleman would claim to represent. Equally poverty-stricken, they are equally excluded from the society which the Unionist Party represents. The society of landlords who, by ancient charter of Charles II, still hold the rights of the ordinary people of Northern Ireland over such things as fishing and paying the most ridiculous and exorbitant rents, and, in order to maintain their claim, divide the people into two sections and stand up in this house and say that there are those who do not wish to join the society. There is no place in society for us. There is no place for us in the society of landlords because we are the have-nots and they are the haves. We came to the situation in Derry where the people have had enough. Since the 5th of October, it has been the unashamed and deliberate policy of the Unionist government to try and force an image on the civil rights movement that it was nothing more than a Catholic uprising. The people of the movement have struggled desperately to overcome that image, but it is impossible when the ruling minority are the government and control not only political matters, but the so-called impartial forces of law and order. It is impossible then for us to state quite fairly where we stand. I was in the Bogside on the same evening as the Right Honourable Member for Londonderry. I assure you, Mr. Speaker, and I make no apology for the fact that I was not strutting around with my hands behind my back examining the area and saying tut tut every time a policeman had his head scratched. I was going around building barricades because I knew that it was not safe for the police to come in. I saw with my own eyes 1,000 policemen come in military formation into an oppressed and socially and economically depressed area. When a police force are acting under orders, presumably from the top, and the top invariably is the Unionist Party, and form themselves into military formation with the deliberate intention of terrorising the inhabitants of an area, I can have no sympathy for them as a body. So I organised the civilians in that area to make sure that they wasted not one solitary stone in anger. Honourable members may find this amusing, and in the comfortable surroundings of this honourable house it may seem amusing, but at 2 o'clock in the morning on the Bogside there was something horrifying about the fact that someone such as I, who believes in non-violence, had to settle for the least violent method, which was to build barricades and to say to the police, "We can threaten you." The situation with which we are faced in Northern Ireland is one which I feel I can no longer say to the people, "Don't worry about it, Westminster is looking after you." Westminster cannot condone the existence of this situation. The question before this House, in view of the apathy, neglect, and lack of understanding which this House has shown to the people in Ulster, which it claims to represent, is how in the shortest space it can make up for 50 years of neglect apathy, and lack of understanding. Short of producing miracles such as factories overnight in Derry and homes overnight in practically every area of the north of Ireland, what can we do? A solution which the government may decide to adopt is to do nothing, but serve notice on the unionist government that they will impose economic sanctions on them if true reforms are not carried out. The interesting point is that the unionist government cannot carry out reforms. If they introduce the Human Rights Bill and outlaw sectarianism and discrimination, what will the party which it is based on and survives on discrimination do? By introducing the Human Rights Bill, it signs its own death warrant. Therefore, the government can impose economic sanctions, but the Unionist Party will not yield. I assure you, Mr. Speaker, that one cannot impose economic sanctions on the dead. There we go. Have a wonderful night and thank you very much again.